Today is the 8th of March 2022, International Women's Day, albeit this year it's somewhat overshadowed by other events in the news. But given that it's International Women's Day, I thought I'd highlight something, which is stopping women from being treated equally, a barrier to gender equality. Feminism. Of course, I don't mean all branches of feminism or all feminists, so if we take the idea that women and men should be treated equally, whilst acknowledging that we're physically different, well, by that definition, I'm a feminist. But there are also bitter, angry women who call themselves feminists when in fact they just hate men and all women who don't conform to their strange ideology. And it's fucking difficult to take those seriously. And these twisted fake feminists, they're raising their daughters, usually on their own, because who's going to stay with that? They are the definition of fuck 'em and chuck 'em. So they're bringing up their daughters, telling them they will never succeed because of the patriarchy, and telling their sons that they'll grow up to be violent rapists. So for the girls, if they're being told they won't succeed because of the patriarchy, which to these mad women, they seem to see it as some mysterious organisation like the Illuminati, and that doesn't fucking exist either. I mean, we live in a patriarchal society, but there isn't an organisation called the patriarchy. But these girls, if they're told they're going to fail, then why try? And the sons are growing up hating themselves just for being male. And now, one of these angry women's groups, based in Germany, is taking a stand against the patriarchy by explaining that space exploration is sexist. In NASA's early days, there were no female astronauts. They were all real men's men, throttle jockeys, test pilots and the like. But things have moved on. However, that's not the issue for the German women. No, they take issue with the vehicles used by space agencies. They say they're sexist because rockets are shaped like penises. Okay, Jeff Bezos' rocket, that is rather knob-like. But in general, I think if someone sees something and interprets it as a phallic symbol, it says as much about them as the object in question. For example, recently I watched a documentary about Stonehenge, and on it the historian was putting forth the idea that the stone circle represented a vagina and the rays of the sun was like a penis fertilising the earth. And I thought that sounds interesting. But as the programme went on, it was every fucking thing that the bloke saw. I expect on set a runner would come up and say, "Do you want a cup of tea?" "Penis!" "Yeah, all right, John." And I'm guessing the reason that the angry women's group are interpreting things to look like cocks is because they aren't getting any. Because who in their right mind would want to bang one of those screaming harpies? In fact, the only men that join shouty women's organisations are pathetic beta males who can't pull normal women. And it's not like they'll know what they're doing anyway. They'll try and seduce a woman by rubbing her crotch over the top of her jeans for 10 seconds and going, "Did you come?" Of course, sensible people will know the reason that rockets are shaped that way. In the same way that bullets, missiles, fireworks and even the fuselage of aeroplanes, they're all roughly the same shape, because that's the best shape aerodynamically. It's the best for cutting through the air with the least amount of drag and therefore the least amount of heat. It's got nothing to do with male aggression or sexual dominance. But the shouty German women aren't having any of it, so they've designed their own spacecraft. And I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. Be ready for the vulva spaceship. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is an artist's impression of the vulva spaceship. The craft which will, and I quote, "restore gender equality to the cosmos." Really, a flying twat. Now, it may be true that rockets like the SpaceX Falcon 9 do look a bit penisy, but that's a coincidence. This has been designed specifically to look like a woman's undercarriage. I have a keen interest in spaceflight, and I've spotted one small but important issue, no matter how nice this CGI image looks. It won't fucking work. Where are the external rocket boosters? Where's the fuel tanks? Because if it's carrying everything internally and relying just on its own engines, it'll never get off the fucking ground. Not so, say the angry women's group. They've done their research, and by that I'm guessing it's the same level of research that the average COVID denier does. They've done their research and they found that that shape is more efficient than the outdated, misogynistic, penis-shaped rockets. Now I'm calling bullshit, because if that shape was more efficient, every space agency would already be fucking using it. The only thing I find surprising with this image is that the smoke isn't coloured red so it looks like it's on its period. A general rule to know if you're talking to a real feminist, a woman, and it doesn't have to be a woman, but in this case a female, who's interested in gender equality and the betterment of humanity in general, or a screaming lunatic, is that all the shouty ones are fucking obsessed with their periods. As soon as they get the painters in, they're smearing themselves in their blood and going on about the divine earth goddess, rather than thinking, well, I didn't get pregnant this month, so my uterus needs to flush itself out like a car getting an oil change. I'm not a qualified gynaecologist. But it's International Women's Day, and personally I don't think it should just be one day. We should mark women's achievements every day of the year. But I know there are women who watch this channel, and can you help me out with something here? Does this speak to you? Does it make you think finally we can throw off the shackles of centuries of male oppression? Or do you think it's a bit weird someone's trying to make something that looks like female genitalia and attach a fucking rocket to it? As ever, thanks for watching. Today is the 8th of March, or March 8th if you're an American. They call themselves feminists, whereas they're not. They're usually very angry, they'll have greasy dyed hair, they'll be morbidly obese, they'll have loads of piercings in their face. Stop, I'm getting angry. National Women's Day, there'll be men going, but when's International Men's Day? When's International Men's Day? 19th of November. I can't say it. Join angry women's group are pathetic beta males. Those little skinny fuckers, they've always got a tash and a baseball cap and a checked shirt and they look like they haven't washed for a month. And their girlfriends always weigh 2 metric fucking tons. I may have gone off topic there. Rockets look like penises. The space shuttle didn't, that's fucked their argument. Look at it this way, I guess there's a fucking ice cream van. It's 2 degrees. Why is there an ice cream van out? I'm Earth Mother. I'm not a gynaecologist. I mean, I'll have a look. Oh, fuck us on.